Hi, I'm Mike Sibley, leader of the James Moore manufacturing team. Today on More on Manufacturing, we have Jessica Lovatt, president of the Volusia Manufacturers Association, recent president, took over 6 months ago now, so we're glad to have her join us today. We're going to talk about what's going on in manufacturing and how the VMA is helping our manufacturers locally and within the region here to help them with their business. So, Jessica, let's get into it. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be doing this.
Yes,
with
I know Jane was here last year,
you.
so I like to kick off the year with just, hey, what are you hearing about manufacturing? What are your manufacturers telling you? I know between the two of us, we hear a lot of things, so it's kind of given that, in some ways, maybe a feeling of they're not alone.
Right.
And hey, what's the good news that's going on out there? There's a lot of, manufacturers are busy. I know there are some struggles and things like that. So let's just jump into it. What are you hearing as we approach 2022?
So we have a lot of really amazing things happening. Our manufacturers have never been busier than they are today, which also comes with its own set of struggles. They need better employees. They need more employees. They need the supply chain to loosen up. We need help in all aspects of supply chain management. I had one company call me the other day and say, hey, I have a truck driver sitting for 8 hours in Port Canaveral. Is there anything that we can do to help move this along? And I said, the only thing that I can do is reach out to my legislators and say, are you aware of this? Do you know this is what's going on? How can we help get these processes moved shorter? One of the federal mandates that we have with trucking is that they're only allowed 8 hours in a row to be inside their truck, regardless if they're sitting waiting to get loaded. That counts.
Oh, wow.
So what people need to understand is that, yes, these mandates sound fabulous and wonderful when we're voting for them, but the reality of the situation is that it's going to cause a log jam.
Right.
So let's figure out how to make this log jam not so painful on all of us. The exciting thing that we have coming up that we're currently involved in and invested in is FAME, the Federation for Advanced
Manufacturing
Education.
Yes. See, we can piece this together. We can get there. We can get there. Yes.
Sometimes those
this
acronyms,
has been a huge initiative in the last.
It has.
Yeah, so a little slowed down by COVID, maybe a little bit, but it really hit off. Really,
and I get
well.
distracted by that song.
So she has done that a lot of times since we've started down this.
When it's what does the acronym mean?
Right.
Our first cohort
Yeah.
did their presentations last Friday, and it was absolutely incredible to see these fabulous students go from scared and timid and not really sure where they want to be in the world to presenting to a room full of their peers, their bosses, their peers' bosses, and not stumbling. Once they walked us through everything that they did, it was so incredible and exciting to see that we're on the right path of education for what our manufacturers need in employees today.
So let's step back. So we know obviously labor is a huge issue for it. And actually, the pandemic has just made it worse. Before it was an issue. We've been talking about this for a long, long time.
But last Monday, people got their last checks for their child credit check.
Yes.
That was coming out. So let's hope.
And I know there's been a lot of delays in getting people back into the workforce because of that money being out there. So hopefully, we continue to see an upbeat in those, more employment opportunities. But so stepping back, then let's dig into a little bit more. What exactly does FAME do? How does it work? What does a manufacturer expect out of it? Who's participating in that?
So the fabulous thing about the FAME program is it's industry married with education, and you get the best of both worlds. So these students who apply to the FAME program through Daytona State, they go and work. Once selected for the program, they will work for their sponsor company 3 days a week and go to school 2 days a week. It's a lot to put into it, but the rewards are exponential and so far-reaching. These young people are getting set up for success in a way that we haven't been able to do in the past. And with this program, it's just mind-boggling as to why we don't do this more marry industry and education so that we can get the best of both worlds. The sponsor companies, they help dictate what the curriculum is going to be, so their students are learning exactly what they need them to learn. Then once they're learning it in the classroom, they bring it back to the manufacturing site. And help, and they have specific projects they need to accomplish. And so they're helping their companies on those daily basis of being there, and they're also getting school credit for what they're doing. So that's the real marriage of it. And it's something that is pretty simple when you're looking at it, like, well, why don't they just do this? But you and I both know when you have many eyes looking at the same problem, it tends to be a much better solution than if just I was looking at it or if just you were looking at it. So that's where this goes. The best part about the FAME program is that the manufacturers are paying these kids a livable wage, so they are going to graduate with very little to no debt.
That's awesome.
And the sky's the limit.
That's great. Well, so with FAME, I mean, really what we're talking about beyond that is you've had a high degree of collaboration with the Volusia County schools here locally and other schools, some of the universities and colleges. So it's not just one way. You're hitting a lot of different ways. Maybe talk about like the scholarship monies or the monies that we put into the academies even.
Oh, so, VMA is infamous or famous for our golf tournament that is coming up in May. So I'm super excited about that. But we have raised over $350,000 those dollars have gone directly back to Volusia County schools, Flagler County schools, and the surrounding colleges through scholarships. This money is super important to the teachers who are fighting the red tape just to get printer paper and printer ink for their students, because the funding has been cut so hardcore on some of those schools. So we like to come in and just like a razor knife, just cut through that red tape and make sure it's not there. So these teachers don't have excuses as to why they're not doing fun, inventive things in the classroom that get students excited about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Those 4 words seem so existential in just, that sounds so amazing, until you're trying to buy a rug for your house and then you realize that, I need to know the area of this room so that I'm not buying a ginormous rug.
So imagine that if you can measure it, right?
Exactly.
Yes, and we've done that before with going into the classroom and helping kids learn how to use a tape measure. I mean, very simple things. So when we talk about, 2022, what we're hearing obviously is the supply chain issues, like you said, material costs going up, and in many cases the labor is
labor costs.
Labor costs, manufacturer actually competing with each other on the labor costs. So when manufacturer A down the road goes up by $1 an hour, then B has to go up just to match that. And so on top of the shortage, so they're having difficulties getting things out the door, literally producing the product to ship it out. They've got backlog. They just can't get it out. And I'm hearing that over and over and over again. So, one of the other things, I guess, from the VMA standpoint is obviously getting students ready. And in the past, prior to COVID, I know some of this, and I know we're hoping to get some of these things going. We'll see where it goes. But, you've even had guidance counselors out and about to help them understand that, maybe college isn't right for every single person, that there's other ways. Manufacturing is way different than it was 100 years ago.
Manufacturing is way different than it was 10 years ago. The dynamic way that they constantly get better, faster, stronger is always in play in their business plans. Some people are like, manufacturers are bad for the environment. Are you kidding me? They're the first people out here going, let's green this up. Let's see how we can cut all of our carbon emissions, how we can save electricity, all of those things. Because let's be honest, they live here too. They want their environment to be just as green and beautiful and fantastic to go hiking and biking and the beach to be cleaned. So,
well, every year we have innovation awards with the VMA, we have green awards, and we have companies every year that just show us all the cool things that they're doing to be more efficient, to be environmentally friendly. Then obviously to help make sure that they can try to pull in more employees and keep those employees and keep them
Right.
satisfied. And that's all the challenge that, kind of comes into it.
I personally wish that we could give away an award to every applicant that comes in, because it highlights their company in such an extremely beautiful light of all of the things that they're doing. And then I present this to my board, who look at me and stagger and say, "You want us to have a 6-hour awards banquet?" I'm thinking no.
Right. And I'm one of those board members. Yes. Full disclosure here. Let's talk about the robot brawl, because that's a cool opportunity for students to, and where we're really going with this, a lot of what we talk about on this podcast is bringing value to manufacturers and how. So I think the VMA is one thing that brings value because of the different things you're doing to help with the labor shortage, to educate, to let the population of people know, listen, manufacturing is so important out there. Look at the wages that it pays compared to everything else. And I think the robot brawl is actually one of the cool areas, because it gives students a chance to not only participate as a team in building some neat robot, but then to showcase what they've been able to do.
Right. So this was a brainchild from our former intern, Kenny Norris, who I miss desperately, and has moved on into his career. And so when this all started, it became this, here's something that we could possibly do. Then the schools got wind of it, and the teachers got really excited about it. And then they had that moment of, how are we going to pay for this? And I was like, oh, wait, we have a golf tournament. Right. Okay, we can help you with that funding. And then the robot brawl started taking on this, it's almost like shoving a snowball down a mountainside. And so by the time that you get to the end, it's this huge thing, which is absolutely fantastic.
Right.
It's just incredible to see how much it has grown. So our manufacturers partner with schools, and the schools have robotics teams where they build the robots, and then they come together one Saturday a year, and they fight their robots to the death, which is, I was told I was not allowed to say that because it sounds so morbid. I'm like, well,
you could say
it's a robot.
Right. It's a brawl. What are you gonna,
we're not humans brawling.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's a robot brawl. That's what we expect. We see it on TV, right? Yes. We see that, right? We want to see that.
I don't allow flames, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's probably a good thing. But when you see the parts go flying, that's pretty cool, But it's just another opportunity for students to see how, to be involved in this engineering process, this manufacturing, this producing this robot that then goes out and does something.
The driving of it, the learning how robot arms actually work and can grab, and which is fantastic for current manufacturers because they're utilizing a lot of this technology in their plants these days.
Right.
And in doing so, they're allowing space to open up for bigger brains and higher paying jobs. And, the average annual wage in Volusia County is around $32,000, but the average annual wage in manufacturing in Volusia County is $58,000. That is a very large gap. That's a gap that lets you own your own home, that lets you drive whatever car you want to drive. Probably not a Bentley, but I'm just saying.
Well, but it gives you, it starts putting you down that road.
Exactly. Right? So wherever you see your dreams going, or your kids' dreams, in order to help shape their dreams, this is a path that will bring sustainability. And also, we have over, I think the last census count was 525 manufacturers in Volusia County. And that means that those jobs are here, which means your baby is not going to another state. That's what you need to focus on.
Well, and I think when each year at our annual awards dinner, we celebrate women in manufacturing.
Yes.
And that's where you really hear a lot of the stories of someone who started out like just entry level and have worked their way up into management positions and beyond. And that's actually a really cool story to show that this isn't, look at the opportunities that exist here with these companies that have, that are growing, that have, that have larger entities maybe that they're involved in, but there's those growth opportunities. So it's not just sitting there, producing a widget or something like that, they give education opportunities.
Right.
Some pay for colleges
Mhm.
or courses and other course certifications and things like that.
Or
So
tuition reimbursement.
tuition
It just
reimbursement, sure.
depends on the company. And
Right.
some of these women have gone from pushing a broom to actually running the boardroom. So, from zero education to master's degrees.
Right.
It just depends on what your drive is
Mhm.
and what you want out of your life and how you get there.
That's right.
So,
Well, and the last thing I wanted to touch on, and again, I'm hitting on the VMA every year. I kind of like to start it this way because, well, when you start talking about value, look at what we're doing for the manufacturing community as a whole,
Right.
with the students, the education, the bringing together the networking and opportunity. And that's one of the other things that's VMA's been about all along, is the networking. And you
Right.
and you get emails from people, like you said, hey, does anybody know how to deal with this situation? Does anybody have something that can do this
Right.
to help each other out? So you get those emails all the time.
Yeah, we have this thing called a quick take survey that our members utilize quite frequently, where we've all learned over time that we're not the smartest people in the room, but we have friends who are the smartest people in the
Right.
room, and it's just figuring out what question goes where and how to marry that. My favorite part of my job is meeting new people and finding out what they do, from I'm going to say this word, and don't get mad at me, from politicians
Right.
to school board members to teachers to manufacturing general managers to the person who is sweeping the floor at the manufacturing plant, to figure out who they are, what they want out of life, and then how can we help them as a community, as VMA, become all of those things that they want. Everybody wants to strive to be better, faster, stronger in some way, shape, or form. And that is the true joy of my job.
Right.
So.
Right. And she loves her job. Trust me, I can tell you. This energy is not this is not fake. This is real energy, and it's great what you bring to the VMA. So when is the golf tournament?
Golf tournament is May 6th. I know it's Mother's Day weekend. However, it's the Friday before Mother's Day weekend. And if your wife is all about Mother's Day, bring her with you, because she will have as much fun as you are having at this golf tournament.
It's a blast. It is a lot of fun.
We have a lot of shenanigans that go on. We know we stack the course with a tremendous amount of people. Yes. So if you're an avid golfer and you're very serious about golf, this is not your golf tournament. If you like to have a good time and meet new people and talk and just play around for the day, this is your golf tournament. Right. We have something at every hole.
You're not going to go hungry. There's something going on.
You're not going to go thirsty. Yes. There's always a game to play. Yes. So you're definitely going to be entertained, and the shenanigans are real, people.
Most importantly, we're going to support our students and the education and growth of all of these kids, but students and beyond. It's actually beyond kids. It's scholarships have hit all levels and things like that. But it's huge supporting the manufacturing community, and that's the key thing, I think, for manufacturers out there, listening, is how do we continue to support the manufacturing community to grow, to have the resources, to be able to get beyond some of the things that are creating problems now. If you don't know it, somebody else may know it. And so there's this collaboration. Interestingly, there's a lot of the manufacturers don't actually compete with each other in this area. I mean, I know there's some, and so there's this collaboration that's really cool. Right, with plant tours and these emails where people are asking, and I've made connections of VMA members who are buying and selling it, and we're able to work. They had a need, and locally there was somebody that could fit that, and so that's what really this is all about. So that the manufacturing community. We need
racking. Oh wait, we're downsizing. I have racking.
Exactly. I mean,
this is great.
Yes. So it's a great thing to be part of. It's an investment into the community is really what this is about. So.
Exactly. And, our goal really is to help fund students to get educated enough to be in your plants in order to provide the best type of labor pool for you, so that you can be better, faster, stronger. And I would love to see the golf tournament get so big that we can fully fund at least 4 students for the FAME program. That would be incredible. incredible.
Mhm.
We're definitely not an organization that doesn't spout off at the mouth and then lets it,
Mhm.
oh, okay, well, we
Right.
had this great idea and never happens.
Right.
No, if it's coming out of my mouth, we're going to make this
And
happen.
that's for sure.
And that is something that our entire board is always like,
Mhm. Yep. But we come through.
That is true.
That is true. So
Mike likes to give me some pretty audacious goals on our
right.
budget.
There's no sandbagging these goals. Yeah, there's no sandbagging. No sandbagging. That's not what we do here.
You want me to do what?
Yes. Yeah, and we do it every year. We do it. So we push
I need to stop coming through.
No, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Fastest way to get fired.
All right. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate the time that you have for us. I hope everybody enjoyed listening in today. And I hope that all of our listeners have a great 2022 and look forward to seeing you next month.
Me too. And if you have any questions, just please get in touch with Mike or myself, and we will happily answer those for you. Have a great one.
Thanks, everyone.
To learn more about James Moore & Company's manufacturing services, go to jmco.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our More on Manufacturing series to receive updates when new videos and podcasts are released. If you'd like to be a guest, or if there's a topic you'd like to see covered on a future episode, contact us on our website. You can also follow us on social media for more news as the landscape on manufacturing continues to rapidly evolve.